Scientific temper is the cornerstone of progress. It is the spirit of inquiry, the thirst for knowledge, and the unwavering pursuit of truth through reason and evidence. This mindset is not merely confined to the laboratories and research institutions. It's an essential life skill, a way of navigating the world with open eyes and a critical mind. Jawaharlal Nehru, India's first Prime Minister, recognized this fundamental truth. He championed scientific temper as a key ingredient for India's development, a vision enshrined in the country's constitution. India has a rich scientific heritage, from the mathematical genius of Aryabhata to the medical marvels of Ayurveda. The subcontinent has long been a cradle of innovation. This legacy of scientific thought, however, faces contemporary challenges. To truly harness the power of science for the betterment of society, we must nurture and cultivate a widespread scientific temper. This essay explores the challenges and opportunities in fostering a scientific temper within India. We'll delve into the historical context, analyze the educational system's role, and examine the interplay of politics, infrastructure, and societal attitudes.
India's history is replete with examples of groundbreaking scientific advancements. From the invention of the zero to the development of sophisticated surgical techniques, ancient India was a beacon of knowledge. This rich scientific heritage laid the foundation for a culture that valued observation, experimentation, and logical reasoning. The concept of pramana in Indian philosophy, emphasizing the importance of valid sources of knowledge, echoes the principles of scientific inquiry. The ancient texts of Ayurveda, while encompassing traditional medical practices, demonstrate a keen understanding of the human body and the use of medicinal plants. However, alongside this legacy of scientific thought exists a complex interplay of mythology, religion, and traditional beliefs. While these elements hold cultural significance, they can sometimes pose challenges to the acceptance and propagation of scientific ideas.
India, like many societies, grapples with the influence of tradition on scientific progress. Deeply ingrained beliefs, often rooted in mythology and religious texts, can sometimes clash with scientific findings. This tension between traditional beliefs and scientific evidence presents a unique challenge. For instance, the belief in astrology remains widespread in India. People often consult astrological charts for making life decisions, from choosing a career path to scheduling auspicious dates for weddings. While astrology holds cultural value for some, its influence on decision-making can sometimes overshadow scientific reasoning. Similarly, references to ancient mythology, while often symbolic, can sometimes surface in scientific conferences and discussions. While it's essential to acknowledge and respect cultural heritage, it's equally crucial to ensure that scientific discourse remains grounded in empirical evidence and rigorous methodology.
Education plays a pivotal role in shaping a nation's scientific temper. A robust education system, grounded in critical thinking and inquiry-based learning, is essential for nurturing future generations of scientists, innovators, and scientifically literate citizens. However, India's education system often emphasizes rote learning over critical analysis. Students are frequently assessed on their ability to memorize facts rather than their understanding of scientific concepts or their capacity to apply scientific thinking to real-world problems. This emphasis on memorization can stifle curiosity and hinder the development of critical thinking skills. To cultivate scientific temper, educational reforms must prioritize experiential learning, encourage questioning, and foster a love for exploration and discovery.
Section 5. The Halls of Power. Politics and its influence on science. The relationship between science and politics is complex and often fraught with challenges. Political ideologies, economic considerations, and societal pressures can sometimes influence the direction of scientific research and the acceptance of scientific findings. In India, the debate surrounding genetically modified crops exemplifies this complex interplay. While proponents argue for the potential of GM crops to address food security concerns, opponents often cite environmental and health concerns. Political influence on scientific research, particularly in areas like climate change and public health, can impact policy decisions and potentially hinder evidence-based solutions. Maintaining the integrity of scientific institutions and ensuring that research funding is allocated based on scientific merit is paramount. Section 6. Building the future, infrastructure, and funding for scientific advancement. Scientific progress relies heavily on robust infrastructure and adequate funding. State-of-the-art laboratories, cutting-edge equipment, and a steady stream of financial resources are crucial for attracting talented researchers and fostering groundbreaking discoveries. India currently lags behind many developed nations in terms of its investment in research and development. The country's expenditure on R&D as a percentage of GDP remains significantly lower than that of nations like the United States, China, and South Korea. Increasing funding for scientific research, establishing world-class research institutions, and promoting collaboration between academia, industry, and government are vital steps in creating an ecosystem that fosters scientific advancement.
Section 7. Bridging the gap, scientific communication and public engagement. Science should not be confined to the ivory towers of academia. Effective communication of scientific findings to the public is crucial for fostering a scientifically literate society. When people understand the relevance of science to their lives, they are more likely to embrace scientific temper and support scientific endeavors. India faces a significant gap in science communication. Scientific journals, often written in technical language, rarely reach the general public. There's a pressing need for skilled science communicators who can bridge this gap using accessible language and engaging mediums to make science relatable and relevant. Initiatives like popular science magazines, science museums, and public lectures by scientists can play a vital role in demystifying science and fostering public engagement.
Section 8. The Power of Belief. Societal Attitudes and the Acceptance of Science. Societal attitudes and beliefs significantly influence the acceptance and adoption of scientific ideas. Deeply ingrained cultural norms, traditional practices, and a general mistrust of anything perceived as Western can sometimes create resistance to scientific advancements. For instance, the preference for traditional medicine, while rooted in cultural beliefs, can sometimes lead to people opting for untested remedies over scientifically proven treatments. This skepticism towards modern medicine can have detrimental effects, particularly in cases where timely intervention is crucial. Addressing these societal attitudes requires a multi-pronged approach. Promoting scientific literacy, engaging religious leaders and community influencers, and highlighting the successes of science in improving lives can help bridge the gap between traditional beliefs and scientific evidence.
Section 9. Cultivating a scientific mindset. A multifaceted approach. Cultivating a scientific temper in India requires a concerted and multi-pronged effort. It's not merely about producing more scientists, but about fostering a society that values critical thinking, embraces evidence-based decision-making, and views science as an integral part of its cultural fabric. Educational reforms are paramount. Revamping curricula to emphasize hands-on learning, critical thinking, and problem-solving skills is crucial. Encouraging students to question, explore, and experiment, rather than merely memorize, can ignite a passion for scientific inquiry. Promoting science communication is equally vital. Investing in science journalism, supporting science museums and planetariums, and encouraging scientists to engage with the public can help bridge the gap between the scientific community and the layperson.
Section 10. Conclusion. A future illuminated by scientific progress. The pursuit of scientific temper is not merely an academic exercise, it's an investment in India's future. A society that embraces scientific thinking is better equipped to address challenges, innovate solutions, and create a brighter future for generations to come. India stands at the cusp of a scientific renaissance. By embracing its rich scientific heritage, nurturing a culture of inquiry, and fostering a society that values reason and evidence, India can unleash its scientific potential and claim its rightful place as a global leader in innovation and progress. The journey towards a scientifically empowered India requires a collective effort. By working together, we can cultivate a scientific temper that illuminates the path towards a brighter future for all.